My channel is no variety. All I make is PMVs and commentaries. I need something a little bit new. Luckily for me, I seem to have found something. Welcome to the first episode of Jonah's Cartoon Conundrum, where I take cartoons I've watched and analyze them. Or make top videos out of them, you decide. Something I've always liked in kids' cartoons is when they can prove they're not just for kids. Everything can have their dark moments, and that's what this list is here for. This list will be going over what I believe to be the top 5 darkest moments in a kids' cartoon. But first, here are a few rules. Number 1. The entries can only be from shows that I've watched. Number 2. I cannot use the same show multiple times, as that would just seem really cheap. Looking at you, Treacherous Magic. Seriously though. Ugh. But you're probably just getting bored of all these rules and just want to hear me blabber about cartoons. Okay then, get ready, cause it's your boy Jonah! My favorite cartoon is only at number 5. That's ironic. Yeah, there are multiple episodes of Treacherous Magic that are considered dark, but this one takes the cake as being the most dark episode of the whole entire show. The story is simple enough. An evil unicorn goes back in time, interferes with what brought Twilight, the main character, and her friends together so they'd never become friends. Now you expect the story to go the friendly method. Twilight meets her friends again, gets them together, and everything ends happily ever after. Surprise! Yeah, yeah, we didn't get that at all. Turns out that if Twilight never met her friends, the future of Equestria would be doomed in the process. Yay? As such, Twilight and her assistant Spike go through multiple timelines of what happened if the villains had won. There's multiple things that make this episode dark. From the turning down of colors in a land full of past-style talking horses, from Twilight's friends not knowing who she is and in some cases outright attacking her, or the fact that the first timeline is basically World War I, but with ponies. What makes this episode truly terrifying though are the terrible implications that come with this. What happened to the ponies that are fighting in a war? Fighting for survival against succubus-like creatures. As you can see in the footage now, how Equestria ended up as a desolate wasteland. The episode might end on a happy end, or with the villain getting reformed and all, because, friendship is magic. But the tone before is so somber that I just had to put this episode on the list. The only reason why it isn't higher is just because I find the later entries to be darker.
Where are we? The future, or rather, the present.
SpongeBob SquarePants. I grew up watching this cartoon and absolutely loved it. Unlike the majority who stopped watching around season 6, I still loved it, even with its flaws. But I'm getting off topic again. Horror has always been a theme in SpongeBob, from the hash-slinging slasher, to the nasty patty, to the 4th entry on this list, Squid's Visit. Oh yeah, and so if you're looking for footage, you won't be able to find it here. Because freaking Viacom in there. Anyway, what happens in this episode is that SpongeBob wants Squidward to come to his house really badly. As such, he borrows his vacuum cleaner so that Squidward has a reason to go to his house to get it back. So what does our friendly neighborhood sponge do? He replicates Squidward's home into his own, copying every little detail, from the design, to his paintings, to his medicine cabinet.
It's not creepy.
It makes you wonder, why does SpongeBob know all of this? How does he know all of this? And he wants Squidward to stay there as long as he possibly can. Squidward, who is possibly as freaked out as the audience is, decides to get the vacuum and then leave. He does, but apparently before he left for SpongeBob's, he left a casserole burning in his oven. His house burns down, and then we're made to watch this creepy mental breakdown. The episode makes SpongeBob out to be some kind of creepy stalker. It's dark, and I love it. The lengths they go to make this episode have a dark tone is so amazing. The only reason I had put this above the cutie remark was because this has no happy ending at the end. But seriously though, what would have happened if SpongeBob never left? we have kept him there forever until he said that he likes spending time with him? Maybe SpongeBob is some crazy mental who needs friendship from others to help, or else he'll go insane. Oh no, I've turned into game theory. Somebody help me now, please! Okay, so here's a cartoon. 3 superhero female crime fighters beat up bad guys. You wouldn't think it would be that dark of a show, am I right? Or am I right?
For 50 years, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years.
Oh, I was wrong. I was so wrong. I love Powerpuff Girls. This show was another one of my childhood that I never expected to love. One of the things I love that they were able to get away with so much. One of those things was being able to add the devil into it and still make it comical. You know, I just realized this is the second episode on this list that has something to do with time travel. I wonder if that means something about this type of story. But what makes this episode so dark? Okay, there's multiple things. First off, the townsfolk. Imagine this. You made a mistake, the whole world goes to heck, and everybody you know and love has either died or been horribly scarred. Like, say, Miss Bellum.
Call the girls, I said. Call the Powerpuff Girls!
Yeah, apparently the mayor is dead in this universe. That must be quite a pickle. And rightfully so, the townsfolk blame the Powerpuff Girls for their life going to heck.
Powerpuff Girls, why? You weren't here to protect us. You weren't here. It's your fault.
Even if these 3 are superheroes, they're still little girls. And you'd think this would cause some really bad emotional trauma. Then there's the inclusion of him, which is debatably his scariest performance in the whole entire show. Why? Because he won. The devil is taking over Earth, and it's their fault. And maybe it's just me, but the form him is given, that's just scary. It's what you'd think the original design for him was before you actually saw the real thing. This episode made me uncomfortable watching it. And yet it's only number 3 on this list.
All I did was take over. It was easy.
You know, when I think of supernatural creatures, 3 in particular come to mind. You have the werewolves, which are my favorite. You have the vampires, which I'm neutral towards unless it's Disney. And then you have the... Oh god, kill it with fire! Okay, I can't stand zombies. Least favorite supernatural creature. They freak me out like crazy. I don't know if it's design, the concept, I hate it. Imagine when it showed up in one of my favorite shows and how I reacted. I had already acquired a fear of zombies, thanks to another show you'll see later on. This episode didn't help with that fear. In fact, it just made it worse. And the only episode of Gumball I will never watch again. This episode is harder to explain than the other entries on this. It's basically World War Z, only instead of a zombie infection, it's an infection of happiness. Oh my gosh, that sounds really wrong. I'm all for being happy, but these zombies are just creepy. Okay, first off, a bite isn't required to get infected. Just being around them is, apparently. Second, the designs of the zombies are terrifying. Having the pupils all huge is big enough, but having them constantly smile just makes it so much worse. Then there's the tone. After the infection begins to spread, the whole entire school turns dark, making a really creepy atmosphere. Then there's the case that everybody, except for Miss Simi in the school, has been infected. And given what happened earlier in the story, they're all dead. No, seriously, Gumball and Darwin literally lose what looks to be their souls before the virus spreads. And then there's the ending, which is just way too freaky. I'm not even gonna spoil it, it's just terrifying. The tone is dark, the atmosphere is dark, I'm dark because I'm black, and now we move on to number 1. If you were to ask me what my favorite cartoon before Friendship with Magic was, well, then you would have number 1 on this list. You remember this cartoon? If you don't, I don't blame you. Most people don't. But if I was to make a top 5 list of cartoons, this one would be number 2. Right below Friendship is Magic. I love this cartoon so much. And it's the darkest cartoon I have ever watched in my life. You want an example of how dark this cartoon can get? Well, here's one right here.
Hey!
Jeremy! No! Jeremy!
Yep, they almost just killed off our main characters. And this has happened multiple times. Aliens, robots, giant freaking teddy bears. Anything the villain could do to kill the protagonist would be done in this series. The darkest episode of this show, though? Well, it's only in season 1. And this episode scarred me. And here we come full circle. At number 1, we have Code Lyoko. Killer music. This episode is a top for multiple reasons. I find the concept of a coma terrifying. A near-death state where you're basically unconscious until you wake up. Or in some cases, never at all. In this case, the protagonist of this show, Xana, infects a song with a virus that makes anybody who hears it automatically go into a coma. First one to be infected is one of the protagonists, Delarobia, and it's absolutely terrifying. I know I've said it multiple times, but it's absolutely true.
Good. Odd's in a coma. It's really weird. His heart has almost stopped beating.
Oh no!
No one knows what to do, and the weirdest thing of all is that Odd may not be the only one hit by the illness.
I don't know what makes this episode terrifying to me. I don't know if it's the smiles on everybody's faces as they go into a near-death state. I don't know if it's the fact that the main protagonist, and I mean all of them, almost nearly die. If you want to get into this show, good for you, you'll love it. But prepare to see some dark stuff in it. It's obvious that this episode ends happily, so you're probably wondering why I put this above episodes like The Joy. Simple. That episode was retconned. They didn't have a sequel episode touching on the same exact concept. Code Lyoko, however, is a story-driven show with continuity. The main characters remember everything that happened, while everybody else won't due to time travel.
Oh, Dorothy!
Gross out is easily able to scar people, but you can forget it kinda easily. Seeing stuff like this, people blank-eyed, near dead. It's easy enough to scar somebody, and that's what it did for me. I really can't explain it any more than this. You're going to have to watch this for yourself. Then you'll see what I really mean. And here is the first episode of John Smith's Cartoon Conundrums. Ready for more content will be coming soon. And it is my first video reviewing wise, it probably sucked. So any critique or advice would be nice. Anyways, this is Jonah Smith, signing off.